One of my good friends who lives in Australia is going through a tough time. Her husband was diagnosed with cancer, and when she told me about that, I really wanted to support her. Me in London, she living in Australia, with the distance and the time difference, I really didn't know how I could support her. Moreover, I couldn't make myself physically available there. So these thoughts were within me. This morning, while I was driving my daughter to her school, there was a white car going in front of my car. After a while, the white car took a right turn and I followed the car because that was my route. The car made a sudden stop and I had to stop. I was wondering why, because I couldn't see any of the vehicles in front of that white car. But when I looked up to the road was bending towards left. There was a big lorry on the left hand side, and there was road work on the left side, and there were cars parked on the right hand side. So when I looked up, I wasn't sure whether there was enough space for us to pass through. And then I realized probably that's why the car in front of me made a sudden stop. So after a few seconds, the white car started moving towards the lorry and I followed the car. And as I was reaching closer to the lorry, I was able to see that there was enough space to pass through. So this incident made me reflect on one of my previous experiences. In one of my previous leadership roles, I had to lead a strategy and to execute a huge program. It was a complex program with a lot of uncertainties. I've completed it successfully, and when I was sharing that journey to my senior executives, I explained my journey in an analogy. I told them the analogy was, the journey was as if I was walking in a dark tunnel which was leading to a dead end with a small candlelight. There was only few steps I was able to see with the candlelight. So these experiences reminds me about the uncertainties in our lives. Whenever we do something new, and whenever we face the tough situations, and whenever we put ourselves in a new environment, there are uncertainties, and we are not very sure whether we have the passage to pass through that journey. And I shared these stories to my friend who's in Australia, and I told her, now you have started a journey, and you have started a journey in an unknown terrain, and you never know where the passage is. But one thing you can do is you can stay positive as you are now, and you can stay strong, and you can take small steps to find your passage to pass through the journey. And she said whatever I told and shared was very comforting to her, and it gave her a lot of reassurance. So I dedicate this story to her, and I really wish her well to successfully pass through this journey.